Yes, we are live.
Okay. So, hello everyone and good morning. So, this time, thank you everyone for joining us again. And I guess आप सब लोग हमारे subscribers हैं. And first of all, I would like to thank you, every one of you, because almost 600 subscriber हो चुके हैं हमारे channel के. Thank you for liking our work. And this time we have very young and talented Vikas with us. He's a chartered accountant by profession, and he's friend of one of our co-founders, Jinesh Pagaria. So, hi Vikas, welcome to our show this morning.
Thanks, Sumit. Thanks for inviting me. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's our pleasure to get your time.
No
So,
worries. Yeah, so,
Vikas, everyone wants to know about you. Like, since I'll tell you about our crowd this time. So,
mhm,
most of them are chartered accountants or ACCAs
mhm.
or company secretary who wants to make their career globally. Okay, and like everyone in India looks out for career opportunities in UAE, Dubai for sure. Okay, this is our first preference because it is considered that Dubai is our home country. I'm not sure why, but एक वो अपनापन आता है दुबई के लिए कि because there are a lot of people from India in Dubai, सबका कोई ना कोई relative या फिर कोई जानने वाला रहता है. So it feels very very convenient for you to go to Dubai. And second thing, जितना tourism, जितना लोग वहाँ जाते हैं, so that's why it is popular in India. So that's why we have very much like people's interest in this country. That's why we thought of having this seminar with you. So we would like you to introduce yourself to our audience.
Sure. Thanks, Sumit. Hello everyone. My name is Vikas, and I am a 2014 chartered accountant from India. I have been living in the UAE since the beginning of 2018, so it's almost 4 years now. I went to the UAE because VAT was implemented in the UAE as well as other Gulf Cooperation Council GCC countries. There are 6 countries starting from 2018. So in the UAE and in Saudi Arabia, 2018 was the time when VAT was introduced. Prior to working in the UAE, I had implementation experience of GST in India, so that was quite an extensive experience of working with big clients and helping them transitioning into GST. I was working with a big four in India. Also, when I went to UAE, I went to a big four. Subsequently, while after working with a big four in the UAE for almost an year and 1 month, I moved to an industry there, to a very popular airline. And right now, also, I'm back to the consulting world after having around close to 2 years of experience in industry, in the local industry in the UAE. So that sums up my experience and my introduction.
Okay. Thank you, Vikas. So let's start with your, beginning of your CA career. As in, from where did you do your articleship? Because, a lot of people over here must be freshers or like the one who must have cleared in very recent times, let's say 2020 or 2021. So, like, is it easier for them to go to UAE with their articleship experience, or like you must have a good experience in India before going out to Dubai? Like, what have you seen in your journey so far?
So what I've seen in my journey, and also I'll address the point of articleship in this, is that the more specialized you are in the work you do, the more stronger your profile is, and the more it increases the probability of your profile getting picked up, especially in a country like UAE where everybody wants to work. So because everybody wants to work, it comes with a downside that there's a lot of competition there. It's not only from India. You have people coming around from Europe who want to live in a tax-free world. You will find people coming around from neighboring countries such as Pakistan, Sri Lanka, who would have a similar experience or a similar degree, and they would be willing to work at a lower compensation for the same profile. So you have a little bit of a different competition in the UAE, especially because of the quality of life there. And the amount of earnings that you get, and obviously it's tax free. So the way I see it for freshers is that if you have done a particular kind of work in articleship, let's say if you have been working in audits, so try and build your profile in a way that you can showcase that work to a prospective employer. Because if you will just send a very bland CV, a mix of audit and tax, it may not work, because people right now are looking for specialists in each and every job, not necessarily a finance job. It can be in any kind of profession, be it engineering, be it medical. So I think specialization is something that you should really focus on, and you should really market in your CV. So, and another trend that I see is that, especially in a place which is very competitive, what you can do is you need to first see what kind of vacancy it is. So today, what a particular employer posts on a vacancy is basically a job description. And let's face it, see, it's a very different situation, right? When you are an employer, you need good people, and you don't really have time to scan thousands of applications. And also, you also need good people, so it's not that nobody wants to hire you. But the thing is, if you are able to showcase what you have in your CV properly, then the employer might see it. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I am a big government company in UAE, and I want somebody for FP&A. Okay, I'll not talk about tax because I'm a tax professional, but I don't want to make it too specialized for tax. Let's talk about FP&A. So if you have done something very good in FP&A, maybe in an industrial training, or maybe in working for a financial model for a big client in your articleship, then in that case, try and maybe in your cover letter bring that up in your application. Try and highlight that experience more prominently in your CV. So you need to also rejig your CV according to what kind of application you're putting into. You can't even We are not living in a world where we have a standard CV and we are just uploading it into 100 different applications. You really need to first see what the requirement is, and then see what value you can give to them, and then definitely you will get a call. Because I have seen that personally, that if you're going to just send a CV, that's the common trend, right? I mean, millions of people will do that. Not only you, there are a lot of other people who will have good academics, good numbers, they may be good in number of attempts, but what kind of value you are giving to the employer, that matters. Having said that, yes, of course, from a fresher, it's too much to expect that you cannot give a CEO a type of value, but at least give them something they can think about and see, okay, this guy is something different, he's out from the crowd, and yeah, let's give them an experience of at least interview that guy, and then from there you take your journey.
Okay. Okay, got you, Vikas. So, I guess you're talking more about specialization and highlighting your own qualities for an employer. Okay. So, let me come to our next question. Like, how convenient it is to go to Dubai? Like, how is it like as a cost of visa, or like it is a employer sponsored, or like you can go on your own? There is a visa on arrival. So, what exactly is the procedure? Like, that's what I want to understand.
Sure.
So
So then, yeah.
I'll give you an example that if you want to go to America, right? So there is a complete set of thousands of procedures. If you want to go to Canada, there is a complete waiting list which gets cleared in almost 2 3 years now due to COVID. And if you want to go to UK, again, you need to pass some exams and all those stuff. On the other hand, if you want to go to Bahrain, that's very much easy. Like, you find your employer, he will sponsor you, and within a 24 hours you can get your visa stamped by the embassy of that particular country. So how about Dubai? Like, how easy it is, or how difficult is it to go there?
Sure. So, as compared to the West, US, Canada, UK, it's a bit easier, I would say, when you compare it. Employers generally sponsor the visas of employees. So, even before you go to Dubai, you will have an entry permit in your hand, which is sponsored by your employer. Based on that, you can enter the country. Then you will have your certain medical and other tests, on the basis of which you will get a residence visa. That's the standard approach if somebody gets a job from India. If somebody does not get a job from India, a lot of people generally also visit the country. I'm not sure how legally it is correct, but some people also visit the country on a visit visa and then search around for opportunities, and then basically convert their visa from a visit to a residence visa, which is an employer sponsored visa. So these are the two basic approaches which people follow generally while searching for jobs or getting a job from India and coming to the country.
And what is the overall cost involved in this visa, air tickets, cost of air tickets, and all those things?
So cost of air tickets recently have skewed a little bit higher because of COVID. Now airlines are recovering the two almost a loss of 2 years. So you'll find um, aviation prices to be higher, even though the oil prices are at a lower end. This is because also Dubai is also hosting a 6 monthly event of Expo 2020, because of which there are a lot of tourism incoming in the country. So I would say right now, the cost of going to Dubai, depending upon which airport you're traveling from, would be somewhere around 30,000-40,000 rupees one-way ticket.
Okay.
If you're traveling in this point of time, if you're traveling after certain months when the expo ends, then you may see a drop in prices. But bear in mind around 30,000-40,000 rupees of round trip in that case. In terms of visa cost, a 3 monthly visa of Dubai for a visit purpose, it's a 90 days single entry visa. It costs somewhere around 795 dirhams, which approximately turns out to be around 16,000 rupees. So
Okay.
that's the standard. If you go for a 30 days visa, it will be a little bit lesser. It won't be 795, it will be somewhere in the range of 200 to 300 dirhams. So 6 to 7,000 rupees there. Also, bear in mind what kind of accommodation you would be staying in, sorry, you will be sharing it with someone or you will be visiting a relative. So all those factors should also be accounted for when you're calculating the cost, because of course Dubai is a little bit expensive city. The cost of living there is higher, especially in terms of rent and food. Transportation is fine. We have a very good metro in Dubai, which at least covers the significant and prominent parts of Dubai. um, and therefore public transportation is manageable. Taxis are a little bit expensive. So all these factors you need to consider while if you're coming and scouting for a job, or you're looking around places.
Okay. Okay. Got you. So, I guess the best way is to find your employer from India and then,
Yeah, I mean
so,
that's the preferred approach, because you will have a entry permit in your hand. You don't have to pay for visa.
so there
What-
must be multiple job agencies as well, right? Who can help you. So, like
Well,
we as an
uh,
HR lab have started these services to help the people to go outside India. Like we have done some of the recruitments in Qatar, we did some of the recruitments in Bahrain. So like the same way, there must be some of the recruiters in Dubai as well. So could you please? So let's say for an example, in India we use Naukri.com, we use HR Lab, we use Indeed portal. So, are there any such portals in Dubai?
well, I would say you guys are doing a good job in terms of putting people into good places, especially whether it's India placement or outside. So first of all, kudos to you guys for that. Then in terms of the portals, Naukri has a specialist portal called Naukri Gulf, which is good. Um, at least you will get calls from employers who are India based or Indian nationality employers. When you talk about employers who want to scan your profiles, and those employers are from the West or any other country, they will basically use Indeed, most prominently, and also LinkedIn. So LinkedIn job opportunities come a lot, especially in the UAE. I'm not sure about other Gulf countries, but those job posters are very comprehensive. They are very detailed what they exactly need, because let's face it, nobody has the time to interview 100 people. They want to interview only 4 or 5. And I've also seen a certain trend that now conventional interviews are getting replaced by video interviews. So what you will get is you'll get a list of 5 questions, and basically you have to record your responses and send it to on a video tape. No human will be actually screening those applications at the beginning. It will be first done by a robot, and if that robot finds that your responses are good enough or appropriate enough, then a human intervention will take place subsequently. So trends are changing, and because of the amount of applications that people are putting in, employers are taking different approaches to kind of cover their time and their effort to actually put somebody on a company. So portals are good. LinkedIn is also good. If and you guys also are, I think, putting people into different placements according to the job profile. So I think you guys act as a good medium of putting people in correct directions. So
Correct.
yeah, and that's helpful.
Yeah. Vikas, I'll come to our next question, which is number of Indians. How about your food, Indian food, and all those ease of living? So, could you please highlight your thoughts on all those Indian culture part of a thing in Dubai?
Sure. So I would say I would call it that it is almost a mini India. So 70% of the population in Dubai, almost 65 to 70% is India. Overall India, not necessarily a part of India, but overall India. You will never find yourself in a situation that you will be missing Indian food. So I am personally a vegetarian, but I never find myself in a situation to say that okay, I don't get vegetarian food. There are plenty of options, and even certain situations you will find food of certain outlets which are serving tastier food in very popular outlets from India. So it's never a situation where you will find things that you are missing India. There are a lot of people. We have a very good ICI community in Dubai, which is very network friendly. There are a lot of events that keep on continuously happening, and because of a certain amount of time that you get outside your work, people actually try and network themselves in these weekends events. It may be a sporting event or a cultural event or just a get together. So it's a very good network of people who have established who came who went to Dubai a long time back, and they established that. So a very good ICI network is there, a very good ICI network in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, both Emirates are there. A lot of events, you will find a lot of people uh, from the same country, not from your state or city specifically, but you will find from other part of India. Um, so yes, you will not find yourself in an alien land, to be honest.
Okay. Yes, that's what Dubai is called as mini India. I know.
Yeah,
So now my next question, which is the most important part of this session, like everyone wants to go out of their home country to another country because of money. That's one of the most important reason apart from this lifestyle and all those stuff. I would like to know insights about the salary stuff versus the expenditure and the net savings. Like if someone is moving out and I really don't know what are the salary structure in Dubai, and probably the audience over here must also not be knowing this thing, right? So I wanted to know more about, like, let's take an example, CA in Big Four in India. Like he earns 9 lakhs per annum, 8 to 9 lakhs depending upon the Big Four or like the all those things interview. So, and the overall cost of living in Bombay versus net saving is this much in India, okay? So, salary of assistant manager in India starts from 13 lakhs to 15 lakhs. So, I wanted to understand the complete, situation in Dubai in regards to salary and the expenditure. So, yes.
sure. So I'll give you a picture from a fresher's perspective, if that's more relevant. So that's a very good question, because freshers in a foreign country may not be able to basically put an offer on the table, which, because they don't know, right, what is the
Correct.
salary expectations and the cost. There are certain instances where I have noted friends that they said, okay, I offered only 9,000 dirhams a month as my salary, but actually the budget when I joined, my employer told it was around 13,000 dirhams. So they lost almost 4,000, which is 80,000 rupees a month. So it's very important to understand what the expectation is. So to give you an idea, I would say a fresher should at least target to start from 11 or 12,000 dirhams. It's on a higher end, of course. That would be around 2 lakh, 10,000 rupees a month. If they don't get it, they'll that, if you start from 11 or 12, then you might end up getting around 8 or 9, depending upon, if you're working with a tier 1 employer, which is an MNC or a big four, you might get it, depending upon what kind of interview and what kind of technical expertise or progress you actually prove in an interview. and how much value you can, of course, as I said before, how much value you can think of adding to the company. So companies are generally very flexible, especially at freshers level, because of course the cost of company is not very high, because it's a career beginning for somebody. um, if you talk about somebody experienced, then might as well take a, the best way to do is to basically refer to internet as much as possible. So Glassdoor is a very good option, where you can actually find average salaries of different employers at different places, at different levels of career. If it's a fresher, you can do that. If it's an experience, you can do that. Another way to doing is that if you know the name of the company who you're giving the interview to, go on LinkedIn, filter on the people who are working there, try to find some mutual connect. It's not a very big world, let's face it. We live in a very small world when it comes to our profession. You'll find someone or the other as a mutual connection, and then from there you can find some kind of informal information about the salary. So that's another way of doing things. If you have absolutely no idea, then I would say, depending upon how keen you are and to start your job in a particular time frame, then you will have to accept what the employer is giving. Of course, after gaining an experience of an year or two, you might think of, you will understand the industry, you'll understand the country, the market, and then you can think of maybe renegotiating the salary with the same employer, or you may also, of course, change. So that's one way of basically handling it practically. I may give you a number of 10, 11,000, but on a practical basis, it may not be achievable, because the employer will also know this person is a fresher. So he is the one who's actually looking for a job, and he's more desperate than me. In cases of an experienced professional, what happens is, an experienced professional always gauges the employer's requirement. They know how desperate the employer is and how quickly they need somebody to be on the job. But that doesn't really happen in the case of a fresher. So there are certain tricks and methodologies which someone can follow. Glassdoor is one. Another one is, getting some informal information through LinkedIn, and then see a particular number that you can get. So assuming by doing all this, somebody gets a number of 10,000 dirhams a month, which is approximately 2 lakh rupees. No TDS, no tax there. So you get entire 2 lakh rupees in your hands. Depends upon how much you want to save. I would say you should first focus on saving and then think about expenses, because Dubai is a city where you can even spend 10,000 dirhams in a day, right? I mean, you can go to Dubai Mall or Burj Khalifa, or you can go to have a breakfast in Burj Al Arab. It's a very expensive city, because let's face it, a lot of billionaires are living there. So there is no limit to how much you can spend. But if somebody has an objective of saving, let's say, and it's easier for a fresher to save. Let's say if somebody saves 60 to 70% of the salary, depending on, assuming that he's single at the moment, around 23, 24 years of age, then in that case, your disposable income comes down to 4,000 dirhams. So you need to fix your accommodation in that, your food in that, and your transportation. So these are the three factors which are major. Medical insurance is something which the employer provides as a legal obligation in Dubai. So that's something which you don't need to worry about. There may be certain element of copay there, but that's nothing much. So in a total of 4,000 dirhams, you might get, which is 80,000 rupees, you might get an accommodation, not a full apartment. You can start, because you're a fresher, right? Even Elon Musk used to stay in his own office, so you don't need to be very cautious about living in a very lavish apartment at the beginning of your career. You can stay in a sharing apartment, or share a, you can take a master bedroom or something. Live a little bit in an area where rents are a little bit lesser, because Dubai is a place where, again, rents are divided just like Mumbai. So if you live in South Mumbai, you live in Kolaba or Bandra West, you'll find very high rents. But if you go to Borivali, if you go to Dahisar, or a place like that, then you will basically get the same apartment in a very less price. So similar things happen in Dubai as well, because say all income level people are living there. So choose a place where you can find something in your budget, and most of the Indian friendly places, you will find that kind of rented budget in there. So spend approximately 2000, 2500 on your rent. It will be a decent place to live. It won't be something which is, not good, because you'll, in those 2500 dirhams package, you'll get good Wi-Fi, good internet. You'll get your day electricity bills paid. You'll get a bedroom of your own, a washroom of your own. So that should suffice in the beginning, and the rest of the money you can spend either, on food, which will be approximately 1,000 dirhams a month, You can go for a meal subscription plan, or if you want to go to a restaurant, there are cheap restaurants as well which offer good quality food for Indians, so you can do that. So try and limit somewhere around 4,000. If you do 4,000, for sure you'll get somewhere around 5,000 on a practical basis, because let's face it, when somebody goes new, they'll try to spend a little bit more, and then figure out things, how things work. So I would say 10,000 start, gross income. 4,000 maybe your expenses, so you should at least aim for earning 60%. And then of course, either you put some of your money in a future education, try to increase 10,000 to 20,000, and then maybe approximate, and you can correspondingly increase your expenses.
Correct. Okay, okay, Vikas. So
Yeah.
that's very nice to know. So, so let's come on to our next question, as in, people who want to, so people usually go out of India for some years, let's say 4 or 5 years of experience, and they try coming back again. Like you must have seen these people also, right?
Mhm.
People usually come back. So, what all are the opportunities if people want to come back to India? Like, have you seen like who all are the targeted employers in India again?
So yeah, that's a very good question, because at the end of the day, at this moment in time, UAE does not offer citizenship or a permanent residency. You will only get a visa. It may be a long-term visa of 2 years, or if you do certain investments, you'll get a 10-year visa. So at the moment, there are no plans of getting a citizenship in a country like UAE. Um, so there should always be a plan B of coming back and starting something. One way to do is to basically again target employers in the same profile you were working in Dubai. Because see, if you're working in an MNC in Dubai, and you're working in, let's say, FP&A, okay, or you're working in audit finalization, or anything like that, the nature of work won't change much. There may be certain jurisdictional things which may apply in Dubai, which may not apply in India, and vice versa. But that is something which everyone knows, right? So it's not impossible to get something back in India. Uh, uh, I have seen people who have come back to India at the time of COVID. When COVID started, a lot of things were uncertain, so a lot of people made their move to go back to India, and a lot of them have got the jobs also. So, but having said that, let's say I'm a tax professional, so I have a more risk here, because tax is completely jurisdictional, right? 100% it's jurisdictional work. So if I come back and do GST work here back in India, my experience will be discounted, because now I have almost 4 years of UAE experience. That may not be counted as much as a 6 or 7 year old person living in India. So, to summarize, target the employers in the same profile, not by the name, but the job profile. And if nothing works out, I guess if you come after 4 or 5 years, you will have enough to basically join somebody in a partnership, or buy somebody's CA partnership. If somebody is retiring, there are a lot of options these days to start things in that fashion. And or you may start something of your own as a business. So there are a lot of opportunities even after coming back.
Okay, got you, Vikas.
Yeah.
So, these all were the only questions which I wanted to discuss. Just one more thing, like keeping this COVID scenario in our mind. So, are the employers hiring currently from India? Have you seen
Yes, of
in
course.
recent past people?
Yes, of course. So now we are almost in the recovery phase, economy wise, from COVID, because we know where we are. We have vaccinations in place, yeah, yeah, in the entire world. If assuming there are no mutations, hopefully we should be in an endemic stage soon. People have again started to finalize their budgets, and also hiring started to hire people. So in that case, there's no what should I say, limitation to hire somebody from India, especially in the field of finance. So if you see, a lot of CFOs in Dubai especially are basically from, they're Indian chartered accountants, so they know what kind of technical expertise and kind of good hold of numbers that we have.
Uh, because you went on mute, I guess. Uh, because you're on mute. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So it's not about that people are not hiring from India. If we basically put that thing out of our mind and basically apply on relevant jobs only, then you will end up getting a job call. So yeah,
Okay.
that's possible.
Okay, Vikas. Got to know a lot of things about Dubai from you, and it was one of the best sessions like which I have done. Like I have done a lot of sessions by now. Like I did with a guy in America, Canada, then we did with a person in Bahrain,
Mhm.
Qatar. So this was one of the best sessions I could say. Uh,
Thank you.
yes, because we got to know a lot of insights about the salary, savings, and how can someone budget his savings and all those stuff. On which portal someone can apply, and definitely we as an HR lab do all those things. We redefine the CVs of chartered accountants. We apply it on. We reach out different employers. We conduct interviews and all those things. So even we provide those services from here. And okay, so that's it from my side, Vikas.
Thanks, Sumit.
Hmm. Okay, so we will reach you out. Like everyone can reach you out on LinkedIn in case they have something to ask or
For
something
sure.
to, discuss with you. So yeah.
Sure.
Okay,
Okay.
everyone, thank you for joining. I'll share the link of Vikas's LinkedIn profile on our YouTube video. You can reach him out and you can follow our channel for, future sessions. Okay, Vikas, thanks.
Thanks everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Devashish.